Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're back with our Summer Bash. It's me, Lucky, joined by Beta, also as my co-caster J-Max on production. How you doing, pal? How was your break? How's your toilet?
It was great. It was exactly as disgusting as you think it was. I can't complain. It was great. And now I'm all refreshed. I'm ready for another 2 maps here. Hopefully with fewer pauses and less mean words in chat, right?
We can hope so. For a little bit more TLC between both teams. We have sammakot, we have TLR, head-to-head matchup. Established Prem team versus up-and-coming Prem team. How do you think this game is going to go? All in all, we've got Bagel, and I can't remember the other map, but I know we've got Bagel.
It's Bagel and Sunshine, I believe. And I think Bagel is probably one of the worst maps to play against TLR when you're like a newish team, because I feel like sammakot could absolutely take some rounds on Sunshine, like just fine. Whereas on Bagel, I feel like that's much less likely. I can't exactly say why, but it just feels like Nikki and Flick are just going to be such an oppressive force, even though I think Hugie and Corey are pretty good scouts, actually. I think just the cohesion and experience and just quality of the players and the experience, it's just going to be a bit too much, and I think that's just going to end up with maybe a couple of close rounds, but still just a 3-0 scoreline.
Yeah. They've changed Bagel a little bit as well. Just cosmetically, I'm noticing a few changes on this map.
Oh.
There's a metal area on the left side now. If you're looking at it, they've got a canvas above the house on the left house, the blue house, and on the red house, it's now made of wood.
Canvas.
There's like a big canvas striped over the top of it on the house. If you're on the point and you're looking towards the blue side and you look right, you'll see a canvas. That used to not be there.
Yeah, you're right. That looks weird.
And now it's made of metal instead of made of wood, which sound-wise makes a difference. And they've also removed a section of wall there as well, so you can't just hide around the corner permanently now. So that's interesting.
Yeah, pretty cool to see that it's still being updated, and I do like the idea of making one side metal and the other side wood, just to make the sides feel more different, so it's not completely mirrored. All right, like where it's just I think your brain subconsciously is just like, oh, he's in metal, right? Whereas it's like he's on the left side. Whereas like if you jumped in and you're looking through to one side, then you can turn it around in your head and confuse left and right. Whereas if it's just metal or wood, makes it easier. So I like that.
It's also blue house and red house as well. Makes life a little bit easier. Trying to do call-outs on this map before calling house, and they're both called house, and then everyone gets confused. So it's nice that they've sort of made a change there to make it a little bit easier. But running down some rosters for you. On sammakot, we have Hugie, Corey, Sylvs, QB standing in, ALX and Seeds. We talked about this team a little bit earlier. Auto jumping off the roster and Pappy jumping off the roster. And they usually have black on Soldier, but now they've got QB standing in, and Seeds is going to be on the medic instead of Auto. So, a little bit of a roster shake-up there for them, but should be a solid team.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious to see the QB Soldier. I haven't actually seen that. It's usually only like French lands you'll see that kind of stuff. So, should be fun. And I think it's just your good old TLR roster that we all know and love. I think Phil is the only change there. Like Phil is another medic that I haven't seen a whole lot of. So not too sure what to expect there, but I don't have any major fears there. I think Sam's gonna do 1 million damage, right? 400 DPS as normal, and then Nikki and Flake are just gonna feast while. Oh, actually, we have Charlie. That is actually a bit of a shake-up as well. Charlie, I feel like has he been gone, or has it just been like in Div 1?
He's sort of been gone. He's not been smurfing in Div 1 or anything. He's been gone. Sort of lurking in Twitch chats, lurking at a few events and things. Sort of streaming on Twitch, these kinds of things. Not gone, but sort of just hiding in the backgrounds, Ever since he lost Cars, he was never the same.
A broken heart. It takes a while, time heals all wounds, but yeah, it is going to take a time. So it should be interesting to see what kind of shape he's in. I imagine he's going to be pretty good. He always struck me as the type of player who could just kind of play without too much practice and be at roughly the same level. So some people need a lot of like upkeep to to maintain their skill. But yeah, we'll see. If,
MG every night, constant multi-duo games, all these things. But any sort of predictions for this game?
I feel like I kind of gave them already. I think it's going to be a 3-0 in favor of TLR, but I think the rounds are going to be pretty close. I think we are going to see some pretty good things out of this sammakot team. I think if you had like a team where you go like, oh, these guys are underrated, right? Like I feel like you could point to a lot of players on sammakot. Yeah. So yeah, it should be a good team overall, and I think this could be a good match, but I also do think it's going to be 3-0.
Yeah, let's see what happens here as we enter the first mid-fight. Of course, Bagel is a Kothmat, King of the Hill. Whoever wins on the capture time wins the rounds and things like that. So if you delete 3 minutes off your timer and you have the point captured, you get a point. So it's first 3. So we'll see who manages to come out on top. As they're going to start taking this right-hand side house, the red house for the blue team. They get Corey in there, they get QB in there, start dealing some damage to Mathis. He jumps all the way back, so he's out of there. And red team just trying to see what they can do in terms of blocking this capture from going through. Blue team with tons of cap time. First capture goes through, Corey gets picked up, trades it out for Flick. It's going to be 1 loss each, but capture in favor of the blue side.
Yeah, it's been pretty slow so far. Actually, if we do finally get a pick there from Sills, that should open it up. So the thing with this map is that you have these 2 houses and you don't have enough players to watch both of them properly while watching the central point as well. So it's all about when do you pick your fights in those houses and try to pick the enemy team off. And I do like the dynamic they offer. As we have an Uber exchange coming out here, seeds pop slightly earlier here, but there is a bit more flashing coming out on the side of Phil here as well. And actually they just retreated back into the lobby. Kind of surprised they just gave up on that, but yeah, 1 pick. That's all it took.
That's very, very smart coming out from them as well. Very classic as well on Bagel. If things start to go a little bit wrong and they get a lot of capture time in return, then you just turn around, you do a trade, get the capture time sort of rolling back down again, get a bunch of space, and they win the trade as well, so they get a little bit more forwards. 1 whole minute bought off the clock from that trade happening as well, so very, very smart decision making coming out from the blue team. QB and Corey both in behind. Corey is going to die. Mathis, QB's actually going to crater as well. He just writes lol in the chat. Mathis on 2 HP has to rejoin the fight, and with those players going down, it's going to be a red team retaking the point.
Yeah, normally like someone at least shoots you so you created, but he just jumped a bit too high there. He's gonna blame it on God. I'm gonna say maybe he's not the best jumper in the world. We shall see. As the point has actually changed hands now. As TLR, they're gonna begin to run down their clock now. Ubers are even as well, but it is very difficult to constantly block the point on this map. And actually, look how far huge he's forward. It's gonna take this exchange, but pretty late pop and Phil.
Yeah, good time for exchange as well. Siege just ate a rocket as well in the side of the head, instantaneously used, turned it into a trade. Very nice stuff. So Phil out in main, very, very weak. 2 players caught on the left, and Zam's might get caught here, and he goes down. So that's a massive pick for the blue team there, and they're going to continue this forward hold aggression. Still with a 1 minute advantage off the clock as well. So the blue team really holding that over here. That 3-0 looking like a distant memory.
Yeah. Well, I did luckily say I think it's going to be close. So that could definitely still just save me there in my prediction. But yeah, they're holding on the right side right now. And I think maybe they're looking to catch some players out in this house, but there's just no one to be found in there. So they're actually in the other house, in the wood house.
In the wood house. The red house.
I'm going to need to, yeah. Get used to trying to call like what's like wooden steel. Is that good?
Yeah, I think just go with red house, blue house. They've got like if you look above the doors, they've got red and blue on them. But my config doesn't show it. But I'm looking at JMax's and it does.
Huh? Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't see it either. And like in general, I don't see a whole lot of things. So
yeah,
it's like
but it says red on red house and blue on blue house.
Yeah. Is tarp an easy thing to say, or is that just dumb? I'm trying to think like tier 2 players, but I probably shouldn't. I should probably come up with something better, right? Otherwise, we're just going to end up calling it Japan for some
Let's
reason.
have a look, shall we? Well, there's boats in one of them. What's in the other one? A sort of nuclear reactor. Okay.
Let's go nuclear? No, that sounds wrong.
Yeah. So you got boats and computers.
Yeah.
You can call it IT.
Yeah, IT and
IT and dock. How's that?
IT and dock or chemical or yeah.
Something like that.
It should be short, but also not too short. I don't know what I think like 2 to 3 syllables is usually the gold standard for call outs.
Yeah.
Or you can just go like, oh, go to the house. No, not that house. The other one. The one when you are on facing me, it's on the left, right? Yeah, that's how you do call outs.
Yeah. I have to change my config just so I can call it red and blue house because that would make life much easier.
Yeah, I keep switching sides, so I just keep getting confused as to which house is red and which one is blue.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back.
We're on pause. We're going. Woo! So that was it. Uber trade coming out. Seeds has Uber. Gets a little bit weak there. The scout's going to be diving in deep in behind, seeing what he can find, but that's not a lot. Overall, as the Ubers now begin to fade, and the blue team still has the capture, but a lot of rig capture time as well. So let's see what they can do here as they try and re-aggress onto this point. Flick is going to go down in the meantime, though, and Kia Farmer brackets Mathez is going to retreat all the way back to his house. So, yeah, everyone is relaxing, chillaxing.
Yeah, and time is running out right now. Like, TLR, they need to cap this point out if they want to get... Like, they do have a lot of time on it, I think. I'm not sure how much of it is, like, the boss's fault and how much of it is, like, it's actually almost capped out. But, okay, it was almost capped out. It's going to change hands now, but they need to hold on to it because if they lose this point at any point in the next 2 minutes, they just insta-lose the round. And, yeah, TLR, they have their backs up against the wall already.
Yeah, Huge just going to start edging the capture as well. They're going to jump their soldiers forward. Ubers are now going to get exchanged as well. Some good damage has been dealt on this Ubers. Not one flash coming out from the blue team. Just to sort of defend the scout here. They're going to continue with the capture time here. Huge is going to take all of the beam in the world. Nearly gets captured, manages to get kills here. Kills going much on the blue team's favour. Zams and Co are going to be ready forward to see what they can do. And they're going to get cleaned up here. Sammakot with the first round.
Wow, and it looked really good as well. All right, I think maybe we had a bit of attack pause here. But, you know, maybe I'm the fool. I should have just seen it coming, right? It's like, no Ryan, no success.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I feel like they fell apart when he left in the season. And then he came back and they kind of steadied the ship. And now he's gone again. And, oh no, they've lost the round already. Yeah, maybe that's just the key.
Maybe that is the key. But anyway, next mid-fight is going to ensue here. Mathez has managed to take control of Red House, and Blue House is uncontested completely from both teams. So both teams going to be relaxing, chillaxing. Kiwi's going to sort of jump around on that high ground and make sure he's taking a bit of pressure away from his team. Eat a little bit of spam, force that demo to reload a few more sticky bombs, but they're going to start bringing those shields towards the point. Hughie's going to start sitting on it, just defending it from the red team, from the capture. But both houses are being controlled nicely by the blue soldiers, and they're going to just barrel it in here onto the combo. Zam's going to get caught here. Phil could get caught as well. They're desperately trying to defend him. They do manage to get there in time, and they have a rebound.
Yeah, just going to do a forward hold. Demo on the right side and then the combo on the left, it looks like. You very often see the opposite, but you can absolutely do both. And you have the soldiers and just everyone else flooding through the left side. They're not going to be able to hold it. So a very clean forward hold break there coming out of TLR. So immediately they're just going to be in here and pressuring the point.
Yeah, let's see what they can do here. 30 seconds taken off the clock already, so Blue Team continuing the trend of just doing really well. They'll probably let it get to 3/4 captured and go for a trade again like they did last time. So here it comes. They're going to start getting this point captured, and they're going to start bringing it for a trade. Yuji's just barreling forwards. Uber hasn't been used. Phil actually pops out the Uber, expecting the trade to happen. And oh my, Hugie and Seeds are just dodging. The Uber is now faded for the red team. They're going to barrel forwards with this Uber to see what they can find here. All these players here on the red team are caught with their pants down, but the bomb comes in. They don't find anyone at all. The red team are fighting back. Bomb comes in from the demo of ALX. On top of this, medic can't quite find the kill. Phil is so weak, but doesn't go down.
Yeah, almost dying is actually just living. So it is just so good here for them. Corey, you can see looking for an opportunity to get his nose in there, but unable to find a way through. He's going to have to retreat. It's going to be an Uber ad as well here for TLR, so this is a very comfortable position here for them. They just need to not lose the point, like for free, so to speak, and they're in a very good position. And Phil, obviously they want to get the Uber in here as well before they engage properly.
Indeed. Clock now winding down. Blue team going to get the recap without contest from the Uber.
And
From
they
the red
lost it
team.
for free.
Yeah, they have a full Uber here, so they could have just used it on them and murdered them, but Seeds is playing so far back. He's basically out of view of the red team. They have no idea where he is. He's just pinging out. He's not even building Uber at this point. He's stood so far back, but the red team are not capitalizing whatsoever.
Yeah, like there's not enough heals right now for blue. So they should absolutely just get in here. Okay, they've actually popped the Uber right now. And yeah, okay, Philly is very low. So I was kind of wondering why it got popped there, but that makes sense. But now they're just going to leave Seeds with this extremely good position where he can just pop Uber whenever he wants to. As Nikki is behind lines, causing some trouble, but QB and Corey are going to clean him up. And now it's just a matter of how does Seed want to proceed here? Which direction does he want to take? Because they have lost the point again, but they should be in a very good position to go forward here and be aggressive. Actually, the Devilman gets bounced backwards before the pop.
Yeah, I think Seeds just used out the Uber because ALX was getting super weak. ALX bombs in as well on his own into a soldier and dies. So unfortunate stuff there from him, trying to lock down the right side. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication. Capture goes back in the blue team's favour, but only 30 seconds difference. They're just going to sack for the medic. Beautiful, beautiful play together and very synchronised and snap decision there from the blue team. Beautiful as they find the med.
Yeah, really good job there by the soldiers. It was a bit unfortunate that ALX died like that. You know, see, he can save ALX from the enemies, but he can't save him from himself. And that's unfortunate. So it once again, it's going to be a bit of a timid forward hold here. I think they just want him to think it's a forward hold here. Sam's, he put some stickies up, he put some spam up, but they're basically just letting them get into mid here, and they just want to take the fight further back. And currently, the time is also very even. And actually, it's going to be Nikki that gets the first pick here. Actually, it's going to be just a trade immediately, but at least they're not giving up time. Oh my god, Sam's is so weak.
So weak, and they're just going to start recontesting here. They got Hugie on the cap again. Hugie, while on this cap, is receiving all of the heals, which is exactly what you want. ALX isn't going near the point because he knows that if he takes damage, he's taking heals away from his scout, which is trying to cap the point. So just being very, very, very smart about how they're going about retaking these points here. And just playing it correctly. Phil's super weak. He's 8 health, is not using the bombs coming out here. He drops the Seeds!
Of all things, he was just keeping track of like stickies and pipes and rockets and missed the arrow. That's tragic. I think Seeds might have to pop in. No, he's just going to drop his scout. Absolutely worth it as well.
Yeah. That was really, really well played there. And yeah, I feel for Phil there. When you go down to 8 HP like that and you've got the sightline across the mid, and you have to stare up in the air and you're not looking at what's on the ground, it's probably best to just use it out because you have no idea what else is coming for you at that point in time. So unlucky stuff from him, and probably we'll learn from that one afterwards. But coming into this capture time now, red team with 3/4 of the capture. Blue team could go for a trade. They could catch Phil here, and they are just going to barrel it in. They don't even have to use until super late, and now Phil is all on his own in main. He's just going to get run down by both of these scouts. They're just going to go back to this capture. This soldier's going to bomb onto it. He's going to get cleaned up as well, and they're just going to have to desperately run at this point and see what they can do. Zams is also going to go down. 1 soldier left standing versus 6 blue players, and he gets shut down. That's going to be 2-0.
2-0, wow, for sammakot. That is very surprising. TLR, it's not that long ago that they were like ETF 12 Prem champions, and it was a very similar roster. It's crazy how quickly that, like, the fall off has happened.
Yeah, I
can't believe it.
Yeah, these players on sammakot, they're not to be laughed at. The Seeds medic making the difference maybe, and now they're going to be heading into this fight here on this midpoint, seeing what they can do once again. Just going to be taking the space early on, not committing too much to this left-hand side house. They're just giving them the blue house on purpose, taking this right house instead on the blue team. It's getting kind of mirrored. They're going to send one player in to fight a 2v1, in fact. It's going to be Flick, and he decides to retreat and lives. Nobody dies.
Yeah, he took, like, no damage. I don't understand how he did that. He should have been dead 3 times over, but he actually comes out kind of healthy. So, yeah, that's a puzzle to solve for another day here. A lot of aggression coming in right now for sammakot onto the point, but they actually just all took a bunch of damage and they end up conceding the point instead. So yeah, not too successful so far. Oh my god. I think QB just found like a weird spot where you can float on the house. I think that was a bug. But he somehow survived. Nobody's dying right now. It's just all spam all day and trying not to overextend and getting picked off.
Uber's coming out here. Seeds does have his Uber, dodging out for a long period of time, only just using now. Does get juggled a little bit, so before it's able to follow Hugie forever. And just going to flash this Uber around, make sure all those players are nice and healthy. Nothing really comes out of it for either team, apart from Ubers being put in the toilet. They're going to try and take 2v1s on houses here. Just take the space on the houses. Don't let this red team get any space there. Keep the spam up on the point here and do the best they can to stop them from capping. And now it's going to go through. But 30 seconds difference on the cap for the blue team. They've got time to try and retake this one. Uber's going to be coming up within the next 20 seconds. So just a bit of a spam trade. No one really committing to anything serious here, Vita.
No one has died in like 2 minutes. It's kind of crazy. It's like they're just being so careful not to overextend. Like, it is very difficult to hold on to this point if you're not overextending, so it makes sense that it changes. Finally,
there's an overextension.
Yeah, like finally had enough. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this bet before he gets Uber.
Oh,
and actually, Phil does eventually end up dying there. The pressure was too much. Dies on 97% Uber. It is tragic. Okay, Niggy's gonna come in from the side, but okay, 2 shots. And Sam, he's in as well. And there we go.
Seeds down to single-digit HP there as he pops out that Uber charge. Grabs the small bottle, and now it's going to be even Ubers. So a nice little force there coming out at the end. That's probably the best of a bad situation if you are TLR. But time still in the favour. Not granted, not by much for the blue team, but they are managing to get this forward hold going. Now, there's been a change in how these forward holds are held actually on Bagel. That used to be that the demo man was on left side, and now it's 2 soldiers on left side instead. So very, very interesting sort of change and switch up. But I like it, honestly.
Yeah, I've seen some teams where they just randomly change it every once in a while, just so you never know exactly where the stickies are. Just because it's so much more likely that a soldier will jump through the wrong door, you know, and get insta-deaded by a sticky. So I think it's kind of cool that both of them work just fine. But we have another instance of just the point being pressured super hard, and you can see it's almost always already capped out. Let's just flick some nice shots there, and there we go. That's gonna cap that out. Soldier onto Phil. Actually, Phil again pops full health. It seems like he's very loose on those Uber finger triggers.
Yeah, it seems like they're popping out Ubers when they don't really need to. Seeds is just like, yeah, I'm gonna just hold on to these Ubers as long as I possibly can. Saved every player in the world from death as well. Silv's remaining there on like 4 HP, surviving with an escape plan out while Ubered because Seeds hits the flash. Beautiful, beautiful stuff coming out from him. Just whenever you watch Seeds play, it's just perfection in medic form. You know, there's nothing you can do. I don't think he's died yet either.
Yeah, it's just a classic, very passive, unkillable type of medic where he doesn't need to do anything cool and special looking because he's just in the perfect position, right?
Yeah,
all the time.
Dishing out the heals in good position, dodging a spam, just making sure that he's not a nuisance for his team, allowing his team, putting them in a position where they can actually do things with their health.
Hugie catches a pipe there. I think that's going to be enough to ward them off the point for the time being. Make sure that they can't really put on any pressure here. As both teams, they kind of just settled on just staring at each other at one point. They're not going to jump across. That seems like a trap to them. They don't want to overextend. Okay, here we go. Finally, the double soldier bomb in, and Sam's get dropped from the Uber. Very unfortunate here, but they're going to move forward. Now, finally, the counter Uber comes out, but
double scat, baby!
Yeah, the chariot is in full effect. It's mowing down people. Soldier jumps in. And he's gonna Seeds actually does go down. Oh my god, these bombs are nuts.
There he goes, first death by the looks of things for Seeds there in this game, but the damage has already been dealt. It's 2-0, 21 seconds remaining on this clock, and no red players have shown up to mid just yet, so they're going to have to do a lot of work here to make a comeback sort of happen, so making these stickies go on the edge of the point, and QB in with the bomb, doesn't really find the medic, unfortunately, but does find Zams with the help of Hugie.
Yeah, like the respawners are so much better right now on TLR's part. So that is why they got so many players in there immediately. But yeah, Sam's not being here right now is very, very painful for them. Sills might actually get picked off in house. No, never mind. Gonna reverse it. And actually now all of a sudden they have the ad. They have the superior respawners again, and they just need to cap this out, and they will have taken this map 3-0, exactly as I predicted, just the other way around.
Yes, indeed. And anyway, red team now making a little bit of a comeback happen. Lots of players down for the blue team. Phil with full uber charge, seats coming up to 75%. Corey is going to have to take a 1v1 on the flank to save his own life here, and is doing a lot of damage. Soldiers have come down, pal.
Oh, it's a 1v4. It's not fair at all.
Mom, he's hitting me! And then the soldiers just bombing and kill him.
Yeah. They just called his older brother, right? Sniveling little shit. Alright. That's oh my god, Cutie was in so deep there, overextends quite a bit, gets just shot in the back there. As now all of a sudden, do you know that they are at a man advantage and they're just gonna have to ward them off the point. And they're doing a pretty good job of it. Sills comes in from the side though, takes down Nikki up on that house immediately. Time on the point. They just didn't look at it for like half a second and it just capped out immediately. It's so rough. It's so brutal. 3-0. Wow.
Incredible. I wonder whose map pick this was. Do we have information? Production, help me!
No.
No, we don't know. Okay.
Yeah, production has all the answers, and the answer is no.
The answer is no. Okay, fine. We don't know whose pick this is. But if this was Sammakot's pick, then nice. Well done. If it wasn't their pick, oh my god!
Yeah. Yeah, that's nuts. I was so sure that just the scout dip was gonna be in the favor of Nikki and Flick, but no, it's the exact opposite. It was just Corey and Hugie going completely ballistic and murdering everything. Like Yuji went 15-4, Corey went 21-7. Yeah,
Sheesh.
Yeah. Nikki and Flick went 5-9. That's crazy. There's no.
You didn't have a game.
Yeah.
I just want you to cast your eyes over to the damage taken per minute column on a Koth map. There's one in particular person on there which doesn't have 3 figures.
So what are you thinking about here? Like I see, like the fact that Flick took so much damage.
Well, also that Seeds had 94 damage taken a minute.
Oh yeah, that's
like
low.
1 pipe a minute, which is nothing.
Yeah, that is kind of nuts. Like maybe they just need to throw in some double sacks every once in a while. All right, I just go all in. It was a very standoffish kind of map where they just didn't really do a whole lot. And it really felt like, to me at least, that TLR very often found themselves in this situation where they were in this stalemate and they didn't really know how to capitalize off of like maybe a one-man advantage or how to gain an advantage. We saw a couple of times where they would just send in a soldier and then that was it. All right. Yeah. And they just try to figure out what to do from there.
Yeah, they didn't really have as much house pressure as they had on the side of the blue team. Like the blue team, if you look at the soldier damage, you got what? You got QB with 284 and Sils with 303, and on the other side you've got less in general. But that's just because they took the houses off them and spammed down onto the point. And when you have that level of pressure, it feels impossible to be able to fight back. So you have to really organize like these house fights well. Otherwise, nothing works. And you just feel like you're boxed into a corner and you're just fighting against 5 players on the point. Especially if you're the scout that's trying to edge the point. You just feel like you have 5 players shooting at you the entire time. It just feels lost from the get-go. So you have to come up with a plan in the middle of the game, change how you're doing things, and just sort of try and make new things happen. But it can be hard to do when your sort of mental gets stuck in a rut after losing the first round.
Yeah, and I think Bagel is one of those maps where if you're playing against a team and you can't make any gains, it just feels so hopeless. Like there's just nothing you can do. I think it's one of those maps that kind of feel like that, where it's just like there's literally nothing I can do. It's just 5 players shooting at me at all times. Like what do you want me to do? Right? Yeah. Like that. I think it's a map that can feel like that a whole lot. So yeah, they never managed to solve that, and yeah, just well played to Sammakot, like the new team. I brought up this question earlier. Can the established Prem teams ward off and hold off the newer ones? And so far the answer seems to be no. No, they can't.
No, they can't ward them off. TLR, unfortunately, falling down. But let's see what they can do on 5CP. Once again, we talked about it last game as well. Like, you know, these more established teams do better typically on 5CP. I mean, Koth is just a good showing of how teams organize deathmatch and things like that. But we'll see what TLR can do here. Organized team, been playing Prem for a while. Probably have more of an advantage, more of an idea. Probably map talk this map at some point or another. They'll probably have some strats coming into it, but and also Seeds is going to be a little bit more ripe for the taking. He had like a wall of impenetrable players around him the entire game, but probably not so much on Sunshine. So we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to see how they're gonna try and play these mids. Are they gonna go for these very passive mids again? Because on Sunshine, you very often see these rotating mids, right, where you just kind of rotate around each other and end up on opposite sides. It's a pretty good map for that. But you know, it is possible to also just play it very aggressively and do the boyfriend bomb in with the 2 soldiers, and everyone else just follows over through mid. So I'm kind of curious to see if TLR they're gonna keep playing this very slow and passive style, because it's quite often to see that the more experienced team, they can just all of a sudden switch it up and they'll have the advantage, even though there's nothing logically that says they should have. It's just they're better able to just adapt to new situations.
Yeah. And if they do the boyfriend bombs, are these scouts going to be able to deny them as well? Because I mean, like Flick and Nikki, if they both play Tetris, these soldiers not going to be able to land. So it's really up to, and also the same on the side of Hugie and Corey. Is it going to be Ryan and Mathes going in for the bombs, or what are they going to do? You know, are they going to be able to deny the bombs? Are they going to be able to save Seeds, or is Seeds just going to hit a 6 surf and just float into the stratosphere? Who knows? But any sort of predictions on how this is going to go?
No, I don't dare.
No?
I've been so wrong. I feel like I know nothing.
All right, I'll throw mine out there. I think that we're going to see a TLR 3-1 on this game.
All right, that sounds like a good prediction. I'm going to go with a 5-0 for
the sammakot boost.
Yeah. Like, I've been convinced. I've been broken. That's just what I'm gonna say.
It's been broken. Anyway, boyfriend bomb coming in. They're just gonna land at the Trent QB has already landed, and oh my god, Phil and Co are just out. Bomb still comes in, just recommits. Seeds does go down in the meantime. Phil has survived, and it's going to be Ryan jumping all the way back to his medic, collecting some bows, and it's going to be 2 scouts versus 2 soldiers and a medic. I don't really know how this is going to turn out. It's going to be a difficult fight for these scouts.
Yeah, I just like that Seeds dying. Right, just get that guy down immediately. Yeah, I do like that. So, you know, that's the first part here. So now they have the full ad. They can just slowly snail their way in before the heals really come in. And the thing that's with time, Ryan just slowly spamming it in.
Yeah, slowly as the red team entering into mid. QB on the low ground, Silv's on the low ground, both getting caught out here and cleaned up. Fully Brad still for Phil, and they don't need to stack this mid whatsoever. Those are fresh deaths on the blue team here, as they're going to start making their way further into second. No last hold to speak of from the blue team just yet, as they start making their way back, looking to build a sentry gun. It doesn't look like red team have got their foot all the way pressed onto the accelerator just yet, slowly and surely making their way into lobby, getting buffed up and things, and they're probably just assuming that the Ubers have now evened out, as they do have a bomb from Ryan into the point on last, and he's going to escape out the door as the scouts just try and take the space. Flick is in very deep, gets cleaned up in the end.
Yeah, he went for a play. I can respect it, but yeah, it's very difficult when there's a sentry gun. Everyone's basically completely set up. The QB in... Oh, no, he's actually walking out. I thought he was just going to be checking things, but no, he's looking for backs to stab. So he is just all the way out here. At the very least,
classic.
Yeah,
he is French, so he has to play the French character. That's how the game works.
Yeah, like you got to do that, and you also got to change smoke while you do it.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see what he can do. He does not want to try and open the shutter. If he opens the shutter, he'll get caught. So now he's figured that out. He's going to head to bats. Make his way
Does
over.
need to like at least get in so he can see where they are, right? Like half the value of a spy in this situation is just being the CCTV and say, oh, they're pressuring left side now. Yeah,
and you
once
get
again,
a free stab here on Sam. So D-Cloaks gets the stab. There you go. Starts whipping out the gun, starts shooting, and is just going to escape back into last. Clever and smart play, to be honest. And he can recycle that play a few times, actually. He doesn't have to swap off it. He can just stick on the spy, find some whimsical stabs here and there, but it looks like they are going to pressure into second here. And they want to push out by the looks of things here. They're going to start taking the space. Both scouts are out as well. No engineer. And they're going to start bombing the soldier. Uber trade is going to be the plan, but Seeds hasn't had to use, only just uses now to not take as much damage as humanly possible. And they're just going to press them all the way back onto Cafe. It's going to be Yeehor just retreating out of there. Uber's out. Blue team capping second. They've got off last.
Yeah, kind of brave. A lot of teams would never do that. Like, it used to be kind of the joke that you should never push out of Sunshine. Just you always end up being punished for it somehow. So yeah, pretty cool to see that he did that. And I think we're kind of seeing this pattern where Seeds Ubers are just a lot better than Phil Ubers. So that, I don't know if that's surprising, but it's kind of surprising how consistent and how severely it's been the case. As Ryan might be trying to jump in. No, he's just gonna kind of waddle into a corner and get behind while the rest of his team just puts on a ton of pressure.
Holy moly, the pressure coming out here still super weak here. Nearly gets picked up as well. The heals coming in from Siege just in time. They pick up Ryan in the meantime, but really, really good pressure coming out from TLR there. Just trying to see what they can do to get force, but Siege in a very, very good position. Couple deaths nearly traded out here and there, but now they're going to be looking to try and get some sort of sack in towards mid. ALX extended very deep into the choke. Bomb coming in. Silver's in super deep. Oh, nice attempt at the rocket on the air shot there, but doesn't quite land it in the end.
Yeah, I think Phil could feel that rocket just like catching the edge of his hair there as he surfed away from it. Very close rocket. Good try there from Sills. We got some more soldiers trying to jump in, not really finding their opportunity and not really daring to commit either. So TLR again, just it feels very passive. They're not fully committing. Okay, finally we have a soldier jumping in very aggressively, lands right in front of the medic, but unable to really get the rockets off there, but at least they finally did commit a soldier in there fully.
Yeah, and a good position there from Seeds as well, pushing the first rocket on the staircase, so makes his way out, but no real attempt at a counter-sack here. They just don't appear to be able to get a soldier forward enough to get that counter-sack going fast enough. The respawns on Sunshine are not very forgiving if you are the team that's on second, fighting into mid, because you have a longer respawner and the enemies get a respawner in like 8 seconds, so it's not great. So you do need to sack pretty immediately, and they don't seem to really be able to do that, but that's fine. Just drill down the clock a little bit longer, head towards looking for a reset, get another mid-fight going.
Yeah, it's not the easiest map to sack into as well as Soldier. It's not like Process where you can kind of fly through the choke and then do a loop-de-loop and go back out, and then the second soldier can come in and maybe he can loop-de-loop out, and then you just do a bunch of loop-de-loops, and then at some point you find an opening. But hey, talking of openings, QB just died. That means there's going to be one less soldier spamming out some doors. And let's see if TLI actually want to try and see if they can abuse that.
See what they can do here. They're once again taking a lot of space. Zams has walked all the way in. He is in deep with heals as well, and they've managed to keep pressuring here, and Silts goes down in the end, and it's looking more and more like it's going to end up being a trade as time goes on, but blue team not wanting to give up this area whatsoever. Nikki does indeed go down, and red team are thinking differently. They still take a ton of damage! Oh my god, he doesn't use her anything!
Yeah, those thingies were there forever. They definitely knew about it. Okay, here comes the soldier in. Can they actually, take advantage of its weakened state? There you go. QB, he found the window to finally get in there, but again...
That's what I mean, by the way. Look at QB's respawn time. We're at a 20-second respawn timer. It's disgusting.
Yeah, you're right. That is a long, long time. But again, it really feels like TLR just kind of waffling around. They're not getting enough out of it. They're not putting enough pressure on. I think they just want to be that wall of pressure that we see from some teams that can work out really well, and then things just kind of happen spontaneously, right? But there's just not enough pressure to really make it work. But TLR, Cease has actually popped now, took a lot of damage. They don't really... Oh no, he ran into a sticky trap. He switched off the Uber and ran into a sticky trap. What?
Well spotted from Zams, I guess, or was that a blind debt? I didn't quite see. But, oh well, irregardless, red team going to be coming in here. QB feeds his life away. Math is going to get caught as well for the trade, so just sort of see what happens here. They're going to continue capping up this midpoint, but back cap coming in. They have to run a player back. It's going to be Flick just winning the 1v1 against Corey, but lots and lots of chaos in towards mid for the time being. Trying to see what they can do, but Phil has full Uber and they need to be very aware of the potential of being run over by an Uber charge.
Yeah, Sylv's up on the high ground right now. Just getting lost. Can he get saved with the arrow?
He saves him!
Seed saves. Absolutely incredible stuff there. Sylv, he should not have survived that, but he does. Point will change hands though. Seed still doesn't have this Uber, so they could still push in pretty aggressively if they're quick enough here, TLR. But right now, again...
I wouldn't be surprised if they lost track of the Ubers during that entire situation. It took bloody ages for them to do anything there, so... if they lost track and realised that actually the Ubers are even, then fair enough, which I think they did think was the case. So now it is even Ubers because they took their time. But Flick runs in, dies, and it's going to be another reset here. QB's going to dive in to see what he can find on the soldiers, which is just a bunch of damage. Nearly gets a pick onto Ryan, but it's just going to get bowed up and be nice and healthy. The window has passed for a sack to happen, so they are going to just opt for a little bit of spam, go for a bit of a reset here, and see what happens. But yeah, I think the 5-minute round timer really does add to these sort of situations where it's sort of preferable to just go for a reset.
Yeah, honestly, I think in North America they use 4 minutes, and I think that's actually the perfect amount. I think I've kind of settled on that. 3 minutes was not enough. 5 minutes feels a bit too lenient. 4 minutes is perfect, in my opinion. Okay, we have a scout running through behind lines. Nikki, he was down on 1 health. He's just gonna get onto the medic, and when I say onto the medic, I mean he died. But Ryan does actually get in there and get the Corey kill. That's funny.
Dogs in front of his face. QB also going down here. Phil does get bombed, but unfortunately no damage found, as these blue players are going to have their sweet time coming back into this fight here, and the red team are going to get their spawners a little bit faster. So heading now into second, Zams eats a ton of damage getting through the doorway. Is already going to have to jump out there. There's nothing he can really do, and red team aren't quite getting the same space that they got before, but blue team are doing a really good job of playing just behind the point. Giving up the space, letting them come into their zone of spam, and then making it so they have to leave. So, and they're going to just continue this play onwards and onwards and onwards until the end of time, by the looks of things.
Take it nice and easy. QB is going to jump forward just to get an eye on Flowers here. Looks like Ryan going to counter jump and see if he can get anything out of it. So far, it's really a bunch of jumping halfway in just to look and then spamming out and then go back out, and then the other team goes forward again. But okay, this time around they're actually going in. Took a ton of damage here, but they actually take down Sylv. They get a pick before this Uber exchange. So this could actually work out this time around for TLR.
Yeah, they used a lot later on the side of sammakot here. As the bomb's coming in, the reaggress happens. They still have one player in favour. Lots of damage being dealt by Alex on this high ground as Zams walks in for the fight. Soldiers coming in for a bomb. They decided it's no longer a time to fight as they take a ton of damage getting out of the shutter door there. And the red team eventually are going to take this point after what felt like years of toing and froing.
Yeah, they don't want to do it fast, that's for sure. But hey, if it works, it works. Eventually, we manage to get out. They're going to push in again. No Uber ad to speak of. It's just a good old dry push to see if they can perhaps get some picks out of it or get a cheeky cap. But eventually, they are going to get warded off. There's going to be a pyro, a sentry gun. Don't want to hang in there too long. But I kind of respect the attempt there. Again, I think they lost track of how much better they were actually building this Uber as Seeds. He was only on about 80% when Phil got his Uber. But I don't blame him for that one. I think Seeds just couldn't really build properly because of all the pressure.
Yeah. And now they're going to be relaxing around their sentry gun, forming a little sentry gun congregation.
Man, I would not want to be a spy going up against Yuji. Look how he's just like continuously running around, just spraying the entire area with flames. Like, he does not want a spy to get in there. He's like a proper pyro.
Yeah, he really is. And looks like they're going to be taking this right-hand side. Mathis jumps in, clears the sticky bombs, tries to escape back out again, and doesn't quite make it. The sticky side there from ALX denies that from ever happening. Sylv's getting super weak as well, gets saved by the bell. By Seeds once again, so going to be just sort of one kill, chill out, relax, play nice and slow, don't overextend. Very controlled.
When you're French, you gotta drink wine, you gotta chain smoke, and of course, you gotta play spy. But he's been found. He bumped into someone.
I think Cubia's like so French that he has like baguette cologne.
Yes.
He just smells like baguettes all the time, which is not a bad smell.
No, it's not a
but
bad
he's
smell.
just very French.
Yeah.
Double spam coming in here. Soldiers on the right side. Demo in the doorway. Doing as much as he can. NG actually runs out of metal, so now they're going to get all the space in the world. Ryan jumping in here. And the medic also getting in through the doorway. Point pressure is the last thing that needs to be done here. As the point pressure comes in, no force coming out just yet. Heavy does get used on in the end. And it is going to be a trade here. Silves is jumping away from his medic, though, not understanding Seeds' position, unfortunately, as Red Team now have a lot of space to work with. They have 2 frags, and all of their players are stacked up in the top left corner, playing the point at the same time, and they're not going to be able to do anything about it. TLR going to take this first round after 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's been very slow, but this is a good sign for TLR, because this is the first time where we really see their pressure strat work out. It worked out on second, and then it worked out on last. And it's kind of what was biting them in the ass in the previous map on Bagel, where they were just trying to put on pressure, and it just never really gained anything. But hey, if that pressure starts gaining them something, their whole game plan all of a sudden just begins to make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And now another bit fight occurring, and we're going to have QB going in for a bomb. Unfortunately, hits the clipping on the bell tower and just falls to his death. And Sylv's actually going to hit a bomb, but he's not going to land in the corner that he wants to, and he goes down. Season ALX gets super weak, cleaned up in the back lines, and it looks like it's going to be a kind of wipe here. ALX, last man standing, running into Phil, and just kills himself. And that's going to be the fight over. Another nice win for TLR here on the mid fight.
Dominant mid. Really strong stuff there. The bombs did a lot of damage, and just as soon as everyone else was in the face, the mid was basically over here. And they're already forward, trying to deny this sentry gun. Okay, it looks like they do eventually retreat, but I do love when people kind of peek in there just to try and lob in a sticky on, you know, maybe some players to deny some crit heals, or just get the sentry gun down before it can actually even be built. But yeah, it is also a little dangerous because you can't get sniped, and if you have the Uberad, maybe you're just better off not wasting that, as that Uberad comes into play now.
Bungeon in the dungeon, they push all the way through onto the heavy in the spawn. He has not taken a lot of damage, and he kills Mathis straight away, and Nicky actually gets claimed as well. This push has not gone very well for the side of TLR, but they've got 2 remaining players who are just escaping out in towards Flowers. It's a soldier and a medic, so just going to pressure them out, let him leave. Seeds is going to have this out for mid, and let's see what they can do. Can they block any spawners here? It's going to be close!
They do. 2. Well, actually, the respawn didn't get shorter. It just got pushed back, so sort of a lucky roll of the dice there for them. Ryan up on the high ground. Looks to bomb in, perhaps. This is a really good spot for him this far up. But, I mean, he's definitely been spotted. Okay, he's just going to jump in anyway. He goes for the demo man, who's unable to get him in time. It's very difficult for those single bombs to do anything, and eventually everyone's just going to get...
Nicky. Nicky just runs in and kills both scouts.
Yeah. Okay.
That's some Yeehaw dominance right there. He's got the bowl cut back out again, and he's like, I'm the king of scout.
Yeah. I was just about to say, like, oh, they don't have enough. They actually have to go out, and then, you know, just does that. Just like 4 shots, 2 scouts down, basically, what just happened there.
That's Yeehaw special.
Yeah. So then, very aggressively, Sam's spamming this point out. And they're just gaining so much space once again. And this is their pressure play. They're not sending in players. They're just slowly pressuring them out. And it looks like they're just going to eventually get this Uber exchange. And we haven't paused, so we can really marinate in what's happening here.
Attack pause, maybe?
Could very well be. Only time will tell. I'm going to assume someone's keyboard died again for whatever reason. That's just a bud tournament thing.
Yeah, so Seeds has been fully abandoned. This team is dipped. Silves is going to jump away to Flowers for some reason and go fight 2 soldiers. This Uber combo is still going to be in Seeds' face by the time Seeds' Uber ends. But Red Team have kind of done the same. They kind of dipped out. Zams is going to be able to push through Cafe uncontested. Mathez is going to be able to push through Cafe uncontested. So, all in all, it looks like Red are going to be able to take the second point here.
Yeah, but let's not sell the skin before the bear has been shot, alright? I currently...
Before the bear has been shot? That's new.
Is it?
That's the first time I've heard it. Maybe other people have heard it. Maybe once again, I'm afflicted by brain rot.
That might be a Danish saying that I've just translated in.
You never heard of it before production? No?
Yeah, okay. Alright, we're back here as actually Ryan just gets absolutely face Just get a face full of rockets here. As both teams kind of got away from each other. I was sort of expecting Phil to be stuck in too deep to really go out without committing, but yeah, they're just kind of out. And so the heals are pretty bad. There's a huge win in the flank there for Flick and Ryan.
Yeah, the flank has been removed from the board, so now it's just going to be a let's try and escape with the lives. ALX actually getting caught there, trades out for Ryan, but that's not very good all in all. And now they're going to start looking into peeking last on the red team here. No demo man available. That's a lot of spam that they're going to be missing. So see what they can do here on the red team. They start making their way in. Flick is all the way onto the point already. He's going to be floating around. Does die for it, but lots of pressure has happened as a result. And they're going to get the second cap. And now we're relaxing.
Yeah, they are ahead by 1, so they do have the luxury of just taking it easy. And like obviously with 5 minutes off the clock, you still have about 7 or 6 minutes to have a mid fight and try to win around or potentially lose around there. So it's not like they gain too much by letting time run out, but it's not a disaster to take 5 minutes off the clock here. So they have like all the options in the world there. They can just do whatever they want. They can go for a banner, they can send in some soldiers, they can do a run as sniper, they can do sack waves. That was the pause. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, we are just looking to see how they want to play this.
Apparently Phil has a disease and it was a tech pause.
Okay.
One dying headset, there you go.
Alright, okay, it wasn't a keyboard, it was a headset. But I guess I got my way. I got my wish.
Indeed. Anyway, continuing. Once again, same situation as before. We're going to see if Yuji can just defend the sentry gun. If they get the amount of pressure they had before, where they got players on the right side, it could be disaster mode. But AMX is a very cheeky trap up. I love this trap that he's put up. You put it on the second wall on the right side. And that way, when they jump in, they're like, oh, there's no stickies. And then they die to the other stickies.
Yeah. Very, very sneaky indeed. QB actually goes down. So now the door is open for them to put on a ton of pressure here. They've taken one side of this point, and again, the pressure play is real. They take down the sentry gun just with long-range spam to Sin. It was actually a pistol. Sills almost dies, but not quite. Scout on the point, unable to really get the last cap time in.
The stickies are everywhere.
Yeah. Just an actual, like, disorganized carpet of stickies. It's so scary to navigate. But yeah, again, huge found.
Saw that coming, didn't we? Just barreled into the shutter door, immediately died. It sounds like, thank you for the frag.
It's never stickied. Except when it is.
Except when it is. I think when it comes to a shutter door, you just always assume it's stickied, right? That's just how you play the game.
Yeah. It's like,
another
I don't know, I guess sometimes I would assume like they're above the door, so you can actually open the door and not die. You just can't run out through it. But yeah, so sometimes they're also just on the floor. So we have a secondary headset dying, I assume.
Or actual dying, who knows?
Yeah, maybe someone was just like, too late, I'm just going to die.
So this is the second matchup we've casted tonight, of course, beta. Remind me again of how many pauses were on the Australian Cup again?
0.
0. How many have we had in one singular night?
Is this the third one or is the fourth one?
This is the fourth pause, I'm fairly certain.
Yep.
Well, this made me want to scream at the top of my lungs.
They did take like 5 minutes to set up the golden cap config because I don't know. So you know they have their troubles too.
And then changed the server before we got to see the outcome of said golden cap.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I assume I didn't see it.
Unfortunate. Anyway, if you just joined us, this is Sammakot versus TLR. This is the last game tonight. Sammakot won game 1 on Bagel, which was an upset, I think is fair to say. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. It is the exact opposite result of what I expected to see. And currently, they're not exactly impressing me on this map either. But they are up. So that's good. But they have this very slow pressure style that just doesn't seem to be affect them too much. But actually, Seeds gets forced out here, I think. I didn't actually see why he popped, but Phil's going to come in now with a much better Uber. That's much later. So this is looking real promising here for them to perhaps make it 2-0. There we go. They get it out.
It is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Red team, yeah, the creeping pressure just continuing, and I think that's just why Seed's used, by the way, just because there was creeping pressure once again, and he was like, well, last time this happened, we just lost, so if I use this Uber and we try and get a smelly trade out of it, it'll be better than nothing. So uses and doesn't really even get a smelly trade, so they end up losing the last point there, heading into another bid. So ALX is going to make it slightly before Zams, no damage being traded just yet, but nice sticky coming out from Zams, landing in the choke, causing Seeds to pause for a couple seconds there before heading into the mid. But nice bomb coming out. Zams is super weak, going to have to head in towards Cafe. Phil is going to go down here, so they're going to start bunkering on Flowers. Both scouts defending their medic, and it's going to be difficult now for the Southern TLR to make anything happen in towards these remaining players.
Zams is behind them.
On Zams versus Corey.
Unfortunate there.
Ooh, headshot. Dead.
Yeah. Ooh, Silves cleans up here. That was very unfortunate timing there by Sams. Unfortunately that he got sniffed out. He was trying to do some sneaky, like lob the stickies above the wall, then run in and just... There's another pause there, okay. So yeah, it was a good idea, but unfortunately didn't quite work out here. So Silv's gonna trade out for Nikki. And this is a good chance right now for sammakot to try and make their way back into this game. They have a full Uber ad. They're missing some players, so that's quite unfortunate for them when they are at a time where they want to speed up the game. They have to slow down a little bit. But actually, they're not slowing down. They're just going in at a man disadvantage, and they're kind of getting away with it.
And they'll start moving their way in towards second, 50% currently for Phil. And this is like where the Connor going Kritzkrieg meta is definitely good, because he would have had Kritzkrieg by now for this Uber coming in. You swap to a heavy, clean up the end of the Kritzkrieg, at the end of the Uber with a Kritzkrieg, and things look very good for you. But instead he's on 80% Uber charge. Uber is now faded for the blue team, and now they have to fight against the full might of the enemy team with nothing to defend them. And they're going to send themselves in here into their faces. 3 frags. Phil is up to 99%, gets his Uber, and is now looking pretty safe if he doesn't drop anyone. There you go, he used Uber.
Yeah. They are unfortunately in a situation where they lost so many players that they can't reasonably like chase them out because they just get back capped or overextend. So eventually it is actually going to be Seeds that has this Uber ad again. It's the meta, guys. Just pop away before your opponent and then go back out, and then you'll have the Uber ad on the other end of it. Works every time.
Works every time. Anyway, Seeds up to 85%. This man builds like no one else, man. I swear, like these small Uber ads just become insane Uber ads. And he is 30 ad now as they send it into last. Barrel through the doorway. The point is covered in sticky bombs. They're not going to bother playing it. Level 2 gun up in the corner. They're going to have to deal with it. This push is looking a little bit disastrous. I'm not going to lie to you. They kill off the sentry gun. They put their scout on the edge of the point. He dies immediately. They dive in, kill Seeds, and now it's just going to be Silves on top of Phil. Phil hits the surf, goes all the way back to spawn. No one does anything here. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy for the red team.
Yeah, they didn't know where the sentry gun was. They spent like the entire Uber looking for the sentry gun. And I think... Yeah, ALX spent like 6 stickies just putting them around the corners of those crates on the left side. And then he was like, oh, wait, it's on the right side. Never mind that. And at that point, the Uber had just done nothing. It gained them almost no space and barely got them even the sentry gun. So very unfortunate there. It's a risky run when you do a dot push like that, when you don't have proper intel. But yeah, unfortunate here. Big bomb in here from the soldiers, buying a ton of space. Nice shot there from Ryan. Ryan, he's hitting some rockets right now.
He's warming up. He's getting the momentum going, and now barreling into second. The rest of the team going to be heading all the way across here. Going to be trying to clear these things off the point they do so. Cone Trap is going to be unaffected against this. They're going to get 3-0, and now it's looking very, very difficult. It's 5 minutes remaining on the clock. It's likely going to be a TLR win from here. I don't want to go mathematically it's still possible, because it is, but I mean, you know, I don't think it's really mentally possible for them to pull it out of the bag.
I always believe that TLR are capable of completely throwing the game and losing 3 rounds in the span of 4 minutes. Why not? I believe in them in the worst possible. Yeah, no, you're right. It's going to be really, really difficult here, but of course, we are in a group stage kind of thing, so rounds could matter. So you want some points out of this. And oh my god, ALX is just doing absolute nuclear damage onto the enemy team. As not even Nikki can come in here and clean that up. And so, really big win here. They could absolutely carry this in and get an easy last cap. And hey, that would be mathematically possible.
Oh gosh, we're doing it. It's happening. They need to really foot on the gas though. There's already a minute that's dropped off the clock from that mid-fight, so they're going to have to start moving and schmoving all the way in. ALX is still rolling out, so he's going to take a sweet, sweet time to turn up for this last push. So it starts making his way in through lower right, and they're going to get geared up to go for this Uber. Likely a top right. Everyone's already buffed and ready to go. They're just waiting for ALX. Looks like it's going to be a dungeon.
Go bottom.
Dungeon push. Sniper is there. They use that immediately, so they're going to just barrel it in to the sentry gun. It goes down now, and the point is covered in sticky bombs, so they're going to send their entire team into the shutter door. They lose 2. QB's going to do his best to try and do as much damage as he can as the last remaining explosive class, but it's absolute pants.
Yeah, they're not really gaining a whole lot of space on these Uber things. They're not even getting point pressure either, so it becomes very, very difficult for them to actually win the push after the Uber ends. And also just, it takes so long for them to kill these sentry guns that are just...
Oh my god, what a bomb QB! That was disgusting. Just lands right in his face. Just no one even called him, I don't think, and he just lands 2 perfect rockets. It's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, round 2. Let's see if they can do it. Actually, the double soldier bomb in lobby is nasty as well. Everyone is dead. As a QB, he's gonna hide in the bush in a corner.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
It works.
Well, there's one thing I know about the French. They do like a bit of bush.
That's very true.
Oh, shut up now. I'm done.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Can't
Anyway,
even be mad.
continuing-
Disappointed, but not mad.
Yeah, I think you do. But blue team going to retake seconds. 2 minutes 30 remaining on the clock. It's now not doable. I don't think there's much they can do in terms of a map win. They could potentially get to a golden cap, but I don't think that's going to be possible. Fighting through a sentry gun, they lose 2 immediately. Yeah, it just doesn't seem possible anymore, Peter. They're going to try though and get some points on the board, like you said. Rounds might matter. We don't know the format too well just yet in the event of a tiebreak or what is going to happen. So, yeah, they're just going to back out, reset, try and get the super push going, see what they can do.
Alright, hear me out, right? So the way you should think about this is that currently it's 3-3 in rounds overall. So whoever wins the next round wins the overall match, right? Just mentally.
That's a good way to think about it, yeah.
So in that way, it's all to play for. And
It's all to play for. If they win this round, they win the whole thing.
they've won more rounds and are there for the better team.
Uber straight comes out, lots of flashing for the blue team. Their Uber is going to end. Immediate push or what? Yeah, Hugie dives in. They're diving in. They're sending it.
Yeah, it's actually going to create a Nikki. Hugie still alive, putting in so much damage. Eventually, looks like, why would you pause at this time?
Why is there a pause 6 seconds before the end of the game?
Yeah, please.
Blizz!
Alright, I'm going to look up the logs here. Just
Oh, we have an unpause, okay.
there are no logs. What?
It might have been a BM pause, who knows? We'll see what happens, but...
Maybe the server just genuinely died. Okay, they're back.
Wouldn't be surprised all the shenanigans that have gone on, they just kill the server at the end of the map, but, you know.
It would be the last thing to... Okay, the logs are actually here. Okay. So I'm not sure why there was a pause of 3 seconds before. And alright, can they get this final round? It's 3-3.
Uber charges up. Hugie dies to a sticky trap. Not the start you want.
No, go anyway. You have to
Send
grab.
it! They're going in. The gun is at the spammable spot. It goes down immediately. Corey's barreling. He gets sticky piped across the point. Zams claims that kill. And now they're going to be sending their entire red Uber into their faces. They're electing a ton of damage. But he's managed to stay alive. Nice arrows from Siege. Just keep alive as long as he can. Ryan's going to the back lines. Flick is going in there. They are hunting for frags now. They just want some kills on the logs. Sil's getting giga tanked. Unfortunately, Siege go down right at the end. Nicky's going to be running in. QB is heading to last to see what he can do. And turns around and just tries to fight him off as they get sworded in the face. And yeah, now it's Hugie without heals versus Flick with heals. Obviously loses that one. Corey's going to try the exact same thing, but with the assistance of Silves. Silves unfortunately doesn't hit the air shot. Melee kill from Phil.
Oh, they're going to get this round?
Nope, kills himself, and that's it. GG.
Victor.
There we go. That was the pause. All right, after the regulation ended. Love it.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. 3-0 in the end, though, so kind of, sort of expected. What did I say, scoreline-wise? I can't remember.
I said 3-0 for TLR.
Oh.
On the other map.
Oh, I said 3-1.
Yeah, you said 3-1. Yeah.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah, you were close. I feel like if this had been a 35-minute map, you would have been correct.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? Well, I'll continue to be wrong until the dawn of time. But there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's a whole ass bunch of TF2 that you just saw. So, yeah, it's going to be 3 points each for both of these teams coming away from this one. So I think TLR are going to be a little bit, probably a little bit upset with that. I think they were looking for 6 points out of this game, but what can you do? So we've got some logs for you on the screen. We bloody love numbers, don't we, Peter?
Absolutely. What would I do without being able to just look at the screen and see some numbers? Sam's always does a ton of damage. This is no different. Seeds actually died more than Phil on this map. Very surprising. Now, they solved one of their big problems, which was Seeds was just not ever die.
Unkillable, yeah. I mean, Sunshine is a very difficult map for medics to survive on, all in all. There's lots of places you can get sort of bombed from, lots of sticky traps, lots of just things, that they can chuck at you. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he had more deaths than they had on Bagel, because Bagel, you just sort of sit behind 5 players and heal them, right? But on this map, you actually have to be aware of your surroundings, plus your entire team has to be aware of you. So, there's layers. But, yeah, they couldn't really do much here. Looking across the board as well, Mathis had an absolute shocker with 163 DPM. Not as much of a shocker as UG with 162, but what can you do? Some games, you just don't have fun. And UG played Pyro for what felt like half an hour.
Yeah, it was quite stalemate-y map. Right? And I feel like if TLR had not played in the very pressure-centered way, the damage would have been way smaller as well. Right? Because at least they were actually taking active engagement, whereas if they had just been sitting back and sending in sack waves, there would have been no damage in this game at all. So it could have been worse. You're lucky.
It could have been way worse, yeah, indeed. But yeah, that was our sort of games. Tomorrow, it's tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow we'll be back with more games, infinite games, all the games, but no games. So yeah, any chance you want to throw out there, Beta?
Yeah, shout out to Bud for organizing this cup. It's good to have TF2 back for the summer. So and shout out to everyone that knows how to not change maps and pause after the game ends and stuff like that.
Yeah, shouts to those guys, man.
Yeah.
Shouts to JMax Joe on production. Big man in the chair. Thank you so much, as usual, for producing. It's a thankless job, and no one ever says thank you to you guys, and they just take you for granted, so thank you. Check us out, Essentials TF on Twitter, or TF2 Essentials on Twitter even, sorry. Essentials TF on YouTube. We got an Instagram, apparently. I don't know what we post on there, but come and join the Discord and stuff like that. You have a great time. But yeah, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening, and we'll catch you again tomorrow for some more fun-filled Summer Brawl action. Thank you, guys.
Good night.